So Maryland commits to bringing back Mike Locksley for next year. So Jim Smith, athletic director for Maryland, put out a statement basically saying they are committing to Mike Locksley for next year, and they are going to put more of a financial investment into the Maryland program to try and, he didn't necessarily say it, but essentially meaning try to give Mike Locksley one more year to have some more success. There's a lot of Maryland fans that are very upset about this, and I get where Maryland fans are coming from. I get, Mike Locksley has not had a good winning record at Maryland. I do think some of that is context of what he took over with the program after the death of Jordan McNair and everything else. Like, there was a lot going in there that Mike Locksley wasn't just focused on winning football games. He was very focused on the community and trying to build back faith and trust with the community and stuff like that. So it's a pretty interesting situation. So I don't take into account the overall record completely, but Jeff, it is really, really difficult to see a coach at a Big Ten program coming out and keeping his job for another year after back-to-back 4-8 seasons. If Maryland does finish the season here 4-8.
Yeah, and I get how you could argue both sides of it. I actually think it's the right call. And I say that because it is clear they have a ton of freshmen that are really good. If you fire Mike Locksley, you can all but guarantee, even in the time you're trying to get the new coach, everyone's going to be reaching out to them, making offers, and they're kind of gone already mentally, right? They're going to lose. They're going to lose Malik Washington. They're going to lose those good defensive linemen they have. So now, am I saying I'm a believer in Mike Locksley? No. I mean, his record's pretty bad. I mean, losing record at New Mexico before he even got the job, like really bad record. He did have, though, 3 straight bowl wins, right? So there is evidence he can win. So that's a positive for him. But bottom line for me is giving him another year. You give him the full vote of confidence, make it sound like he's going to be there forever because you do that for recruiting reasons, even though we all know that's a sham. And if they don't develop and make advancements as young players, then you know you don't have the right guy. So really, next year becomes like the put up or shut up year for him, JR. And I would rather risk that if I were a Maryland fan than starting from scratch, in which you're going to lose all those players. And, then you'd have to hope you get some coach who can amazingly bring in a ton of transfer portal guys. But usually it doesn't work. The whole Kirk Cignetti thing, that's a one-off. People need to stop pretending they think that can. I mean, look at Purdue. They thought Odom could come in and maybe pull off something relatively similar. No. And I'm not saying Odom's not the right guy for the job. I think he'll do fine. But it's to turn it around that quick almost never happens, because the other difference is Cignetti, not only did he bring all those players from JMU, he brought his entire coaching staff. So he didn't have to hire new guys. His coaching staff knew exactly what the culture was going to be at Indiana because it was the same one at JMU, and they could hit the ground running. And that's just almost impossible to duplicate, is a long way of saying it, which is why I think they made the right call here. Just my view.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you that I think it was the right call. It's just kind of crazy that it is the right call because of the landscape we are currently in with college football. Because if you do fire Mike Locksley, it's what, a $13 million buyout, I think. And that's $13 million you could be essentially investing into the football program, better assistant coaches, players, all this stuff. I mean, there's a lot that you could be investing into this program if you just keep Mike Locksley around. And if Mike Locksley was never successful, like if he never did anything good and never won a bowl game, okay, I get it. He probably would have been gone by now anyway, but okay, I get it. But there was a 3-4 season stretch there where he improved every single year. He won 3 straight bowl games. And it's like, and he has shown that he corrected some of the mistakes from last year with losing the culture and stuff like that. So it's just so hard because the stats are just so damning for him. I mean, 0 wins against Big Ten teams who finish 500 or better in conference play. He's going into his 8th season, 0 wins, 0. 3 wins against Power 4 teams who are 500 plus, over 500 winning percentage. Sorry, over 50% winning percentage on the season, and then a 3+ game losing streak in every single season that he's been the head coach, despite except for 2020 when they only played 5 games. Like, there's a pattern here of, even in Mike Locksley's best years, things not going well. I feel like next year is going to start off well again, and we're going to be excited and happy for this team, September, everything. But what does it look like when October hits? Because if it's another 1-3 October, 0-4 October type of deal, it's going to be clear that this was not the right choice, and they should have moved on from Mike Locksley.
Yeah, I never heard that stat before, JR, of the not winning a conference game against an over 5. Is that over a 500 team?
Over 50% winning percentage in the conference.
In the conference, yeah, but still, that's pretty damning. I never heard that.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, like, another piece of this too is that Mike Locksley was in the Big Ten East, and the Big Ten East did have Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. Like, Rutgers was over there too, and Michigan State was good for a time, but that kind of started falling off after Mike Locksley came to Maryland in 2019. They obviously had their Mel Tucker year, but after D'Antonio left, it's been down since then. It's just, all the stats say fire Mike Locksley, but I look at the situation, I look at the context and everything else, and I say, I know the stats say he should be fired, but I think they made the right decision with one more year. Invest in the program, invest in Mike Locksley, give him another chance, because you do have some really good freshmen on this team. Malik Washington, it's kind of amazing how good he's been when he's throwing the ball 45, 50 times a game. Sidney Stewart, Zahir Mathis, Bryce Jenkins in the middle of that offensive, or on the middle of that defensive line. And then maybe keeping Mike Locksley is going to keep Zion Ely coming in as well, the 5-star edge rusher for Maryland too. So we'll see. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I was just looking at their schedule next year, because so much of the success is driven by schedule. Non-conference: Hampton Pirates, UConn, Virginia Tech. Hard to know what Virginia Tech will be like.
James Franklin.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So probably a loss, right? James Franklin, if you're not, top 10 team, he beats you. Illinois, Penn State, Rutgers, UCLA, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Ohio State, Purdue, and USC. So basically, he doesn't play Michigan, doesn't play Oregon, doesn't play Indiana. So that's not too bad of a schedule.
Who do they have at home? What conference games do they have at home?
So I'll give you the home. Illinois, and it's not in order. They don't have the dates on these yet.
That's fine.
But yeah, Illinois, Penn State, Rutgers, UCLA, and Wisconsin.
Okay, Rutgers and UCLA are winnable at home, assuming either of those teams go and do something spectacular this offseason.
And then Wisconsin, you don't know what you're going to get from Wisconsin too.
Yeah, I mean, if Wisconsin's just completely injured again. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at players getting injured, but it's just kind of comical what's happened with Wisconsin under Fickle there. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at 1, maybe 2 losses there, or 1, maybe 2 wins there at home. You most likely lose all your
on the road. So you got 5 Big Ten home games, 4 road games, one of them at Purdue. The others would be.
Yeah, but I think Purdue's going to be better next year under Barry Odom. I'm not expecting them to be like a world beater or anything like that, but I think they're going to be better. I think he's going to keep improving the program.
Good news is that Virginia Tech game is in September, and Mike Locksley is a top 20 team in September.
There we go. Yeah, right? No, none of these stats I was reading mentioned a September record. Come on, people.
Come on, JR. Do your homework a little more, buddy. Come on.
I should have been quoting the September stats. Here's what they are against the spread in September. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess my last thing I'll say here on the Mike Locksley stuff is, if you're a Maryland fan, please do not do the thing where you boycott the stadium and boycott NIL and all that stuff and everything. I get not being happy with a coach coming back and everything, but there's some Ohio State fans that are doing this with the basketball program right now. And it's just a coach is never going to survive if he doesn't have support. And I get it. Some people are not fond of the coach, but you should be fond of enough of the school to help give them the best possible chance to win. And so don't do that stuff where you don't go to the games and you don't watch on TV and everything like that. Like, still support your team. You can be mad at your team and still support your team. I don't know if you've ever been married, but you can still support your significant other even when you're mad at them. It is possible. Marriage advice here on the Big Ten Huddle.
That's good stuff.
Anything else on the Maryland stuff, Jeff?
No, the announcement did remind me of Fickle a little bit. Like, we're going to invest in the program and we're committed and everything.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other piece of this too, is that this is just a terrible time to try and hire a head coach, right?
Well, that's the other thing I was going to mention and why I thought Fickle, despite the terrible record. I mean, are you sure you're going to get a better coach, especially this year? So that is a factor with all these openings. This year is going to be one of the biggest years in a while.
Bob Chesney, bring Bob Chesney in. He'll go recruit Pennsylvania for you. Actually, looks like Bob Chesney is currently being fought over by UCLA and Penn State right now. There was an article that came out on CBS about that. So I'm going to try to put together a video on that either tonight or tomorrow. If I have time tonight, I might, but we'll see.